Hi, it's Nigel here. I thought today we'd have a look at some different ways of carrying kit. First piece of kit I'd like to look at this morning is the chest rig. It's designed for carrying ammunition. It's got 6 pockets. 1, 2, 3 pockets for ammunition, 2 at the side. The 2 at the side are big enough to hold an issue mess tin or a water bottle, or if you really ram them in, a set of very lightweight waterproof jackets and trousers. It's a good idea, however, it's got some disadvantages. The pockets on the front are fairly small. The largest size bottle you can get in is a 75ml, 3/4 of a litre, and the other pocket, big enough for a small first aid kit. But really, these pockets are too small for carrying a lot of gear. The last pocket here is a funny shape. It takes in the whole of the space, but it's got a very narrow entry, so papers you put in there tend to get lost. It's great for carrying ammunition, but it has 2 main disadvantages. 1, it presses on your chest, which restricts your breathing, and 2, it looks very, very military. It makes you stand out. Despite its limitations for carrying kit, it has one really good property if you put it on backwards. It makes a comfortable equipment carrier, especially if you're only carrying a water bottle and some waterproofs and using the other pouches for either teaching equipment or things like binoculars and booklets for bird watchers, or camera lenses and camera for people who want to take nature photographs. The next option for carrying kit's the combat waistcoat. Basically, it's got 2 pockets that is designed or are large enough for carrying ammunition, magazines and various other pockets. Round at the side we have 2 large pockets that are big enough for an issue mess tin, a water bottle and cup, a lightweight poncho setup. So these are really good sizes. We also have the other ones, the other pockets. This one quite small, these are fair size. This one, for example, is big enough to take the Trangia mess tin, which makes a handy survival tin, with the added advantage of being big enough and having a handle so you can actually use it as a cooking pot. As well as the 8 pockets on the outside, there are 2 internal pockets. One here, one on the other side that has a pistol holder. You can distribute a lot of equipment around the waistcoat, and it's adjustable here at the front, on the shoulders and at the back. So it's very easy to get a comfortable, effective fit. The waistcoat can be modified to carry more equipment in the 2 rocket packs or side packs that fit onto the issue Bergen or rucksack. Using the homemade attachments, the rocket packs or rocket pack can be fitted to the back of the jacket. The combat waistcoat and the chest rig are different ideas of carrying kit. They're specialised, they're very useful, and they're better than a plastic bag. However, they do stand out because they're military. If you wish to blend in with your environment, whether that's urban or countryside, the answer's simple. Get something that looks ordinary, like this ordinary cheap little rucksack. At the moment, probably my favourite pack for messing about with is this little Chinese copy of a Molle waistbag. Comes with 4 big pockets, one which holds survival gear, one which holds first aid, and a pocket at the front which contains a water bottle and some other items such as paracord. We have a carry handle at the top which you can use to hold other equipment down. The main point of why I like this so much is this big inner pocket. and it can take a whole load of junk. This makes it an ideal training pack. You have first aid, you have survival equipment, you have water, and you can put whatever you like in the middle. So it's easy enough to throw on the front of your bicycle, the back seat of the car, or using the straps at the back, sling them over your shoulder. And then you've got this space for any specialist equipment like your stove, your tinder. It's a great little pack for training. It's not bulletproof, but then again, it doesn't need to be. A lot of people spend a lot of money, time and weight on containers. A lot of them you can improvise yourself or modify. The first ones are tins that come with plastic tops. You can use them for a whole host of equipment, and you've already paid for the tin anyway. Shoe polish tin is great for keeping things dry and available. Things like tinder, where it doesn't matter if they're slightly grubby, but it does matter if they're dry. And if the worst comes to the worst, you can use the tin to make char cloth. From your local photographers, he's probably got hundreds of these lying around, film containers. He'll give you 5 or 10 or 20 for nothing. Great for storing small items, salt, spices, matches, screws, whole host of uses, and cheap. You can buy dedicated waterproof safes like this one, which are great for keeping matches and other combustibles in. Use containers from other items, reuse them. This is a rucksack cover. It was given to me by Sepp, a great guy who I met out in Austria, who has a great set of channels. The links are below. So Sepp Waldhandwerk gave me this pack, and inside it a lovely handcrafted knife. Using some plastic plumbing pipe and a hot air paint stripper, I fashioned a usable sheath that's waterproof, covered with tape so it doesn't stand out, because white isn't really a good idea. It draws attention to yourself. It makes a handy little sheath. Light, cheap and effective. So instead of spending a lot of money, and more importantly gathering a lot of weight unnecessarily on storage equipment and carriage equipment, think outside the box. I normally carry a small tin in the top of my rucksack full of odds and ends that I might use. Not actually a survival kit, but a help you out kit. It's got things in like spare knife, whistle, spare pair of glasses, some tea bags and things like that. The top fits on and it's fastened down with a couple of rollers, which means it's secure. However, I was hoping that I would be able to use it as a cooking pot, but someone told me that it's not a good idea with this covering. So, what was I going to do about it? I thought that a good quality mess tin would serve this problem. But I didn't want to carry too much weight, so I decided, having made a top for my metal cup, that I would use a cheap aluminium mess tin from the £1 shop to make a lid that would fit over. So I'd have all the advantages of a mess tin and none of the disadvantages of the roller tin. Now, I'm not that good at metalwork, so if I make a pig's ear of it, I can make a lid for my other metal cup and have a go with a second mess tin. Okay, so it's all set up. Now's the time to give it a go. So far, so good. I did make a pig's ear of it, so I decided on plan B, which is draw around the object on a piece of thick wood, cut it out, and using the flattened metal, fix it down onto the piece of wood using a clamp, and then gently tap over the edge. This works. It mightn't be the neatest solution, but it does work. Once you've made any adjustments and smoothed off any rough edges, now's the time to put on a handle.
Bend a piece of handle to a D-ring shape and cut part of the remains of the aluminium sides to the right width. Bend it over and hammer it down. Then mark on where you're going to drill the holes, and using a drill that's the right size for the pop rivets, drill the holes in the hinge. Pop rivet them in, making sure that when you do actually attach the tops to the lids, that the catches are the right way round, so they're in the middle for when you actually use them. All the stuff fits back into the mess tin with a lid on. Okay, it's not watertight, but it keeps together with a couple of elastic bands. My next task is to make one up to professional standards. What I've got will do the job. Rough and ready, but there you go.
When push comes to shove, you can't beat a well-designed, well-constructed backpack.